Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. Oh, let me know if you can hear the background music. I had a problem with my audio on the last show, so I don't want to repeat it tonight. Thanks for joining me. Give people a little bit to tune in since I started late. If you're listening on the podcast and this turns into a podcast, I didn't release a podcast the last 2 days, but there were shows that you can find on YouTube. Sorry, I wasn't 100% satisfied with the content, so I didn't put out the podcast. But I think I will put out this one just to catch you up on things. So we're going to catch you up on things. No Mercy Sheep. Hey, JC Cat. Yeah, I want to explain. I just made a video about the shots. I made a video, well, ostensibly about the shots, about sudden deaths. And I'm pretty sure it's being shadow banned. So I don't know if I'm going to make any more content about the shots, even though I find myself interested again. So that's the thing, is like, I had a YouTube channel before with over 100,000 subscribers, and I started talking about the shots because I felt like I had to. And that's something that happens to me. Like, I'll feel like I really have to talk about something that I shouldn't. So anyway, I read the YouTube guidelines, basically. I was looking at this story that I was putting out today. And because I saw this story about these numbers coming in about sudden deaths in Germany. So I made the video. You can check it out until I delete it. But I might delete it because I might have broken the rules. I have to show you guys the rules. The rules are so crazy, but I think I found a loophole, kind of, which is context. So I'll read you guys what the rules are on YouTube right now as far as misinformation goes, because I have to report on what Governor DeSantis is doing in Florida. And the thing is like, I can't read his press release without breaking the rules. So I'm really curious. Like, I was thinking, oh, maybe I should make a video about this thing Governor DeSantis is doing, which don't know what I'm allowed to express, which is interesting and newsworthy. So I would make a video and read out what the statement is, but the statement itself contains what they call by the YouTube guidelines misinformation. So I'm curious if I can read it, but I must see, this is what frustrates me, is you think to yourself as a YouTuber, you're like, oh, but I can report on the news, right? That's what I kept thinking to myself when I was reporting on stories, because I'd find stuff that was in the real news and report on it. And then I still got strikes and ended up getting my channel deleted. But here's a situation where it's like, this guy's going to be running for president, and he's doing this major thing in Florida, which is very significant. And like I said, if I just read the press release, I'm going to be violating some guidelines. So I'll show you the guidelines just so you can see them, so you know what people are talking about. Like, I'm making videos now on this platform for various reasons. And I've been watching people talking about these subjects on this platform and trying to see what they do and the reason they say the things they say. So I'll show you the reasons they say that, the things they say, like Jimmy Dore, for example, who I think gets away with a lot, to be honest, compared to what I got away with and got banned for. And then I don't know, man. I think we're on I don't think it's a fair playing field. It's like a 2-tiered system where if you're up on a higher tier, you get kind of special treatment. So I can't prove that, but I think that. But that means that somebody at YouTube likes you. If you're Jimmy Dore, for example, or Viva Frey, because I heard Viva Frey and Barnes say something about ivermectin, where I was like, oh, I thought you definitely couldn't say that before. So I do think some people do get special treatment. But anyway, you're here. You didn't come here to hear about other people. So I'll show you those guidelines. I'll show you some news. I'll show you a clip from Obama. I'll show you a clip from Nick Fuentes on Alex Jones, if I can. I'll show a clip of Kanye West talking about Rosa Parks, and we can look into that a little bit. I have some news updates about Sam Bankman-Fried and the conditions he's going to be living in, and also whether he got turned in by his girlfriend. Basically, that's news. I think he basically got turned in by his girlfriend. So I'll show you that too. You guys want to see the intro today? Tomorrow night, I should be having on the Google whistleblower, Zach Voorhees, who's been a guest on the show before and has been an excellent guest before. So it looks like it should be tomorrow night. Oh, and also coming up on this channel is the COVID files, the hashtag Fauci files, which we're waiting for. And Elon Musk kind of teased what might be coming out today with something he said. So I'll show you that too. So we'll catch up on a few different things. Thanks for joining me. And okay, cue musical intro. Boy, that's brilliant. I do think some things in the world are real. Like you guys. You guys are real. Most of you. Most of my listeners, I think, are not just in my head. I think I have the metrics to prove it. You've taken a leap of faith today. What is that sound? And I apologize if you take offense. I'm a little offended myself. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the future. What it is, joining you live from sunny California. It's a beautiful day today. I'm your host, Nathan Stoltman. I bring you the news, the real news. Yes. And I think I might have fixed one of my technical problems that I always complain about. So hopefully I won't have to do any of that. Also, if you want to support the show, I'm trying to figure out, like, I might do a trick one day and make a video about something really, really not controversial. And you might be surprised by it. But I might be doing it just to see if there's anything I can possibly make on YouTube that they don't automatically demonetize. Because that's what I want to say. Like, these other content creators, literally every video, I put it together and then the AI does a analysis of it and it says not good, no good for monetization. I don't know why. Not that it matters, not that I get enough views that it would matter, but it matters in the way whether YouTube ever wanted to show my videos to anybody. So anyway, I don't think it's even possible, but that's okay. I appreciate even having a platform to be able to talk to people. So I appreciate you guys. If you want to support the show, you can super chat, but the sophisticated way to support the show is to go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. You can become a member, or you can just drop a coffee and leave a note. So, and then I read the notes on the show. Otherwise, if you're really sophisticated, you could pick up like one of these hoodies or a couple at truthclothing.io. And there's a link for that in the description. We have really cool and high-end stuff. It's like high-end truther gear. we should somehow promote it that way. We even have some shirts that are made in America, which is crazy high end. So anyway, let me show you the Sam Bankman-Fried news. I'll show you that. Looks like he got turned in by Carolyn Ellison. All right, thank you. Let me show you. Here's a picture of her. Carolyn Ellison was pictured in New York City, and it was posted by Autism Capital at the time on Twitter, but I didn't know whether to believe it or not. But this is basically confirming that Carolyn Ellison, who is the other person who went to MIT, who's related to a MIT professor who works with Gary Gensler, she ran Alameda, and Alameda basically had an unlimited line of credit with FTX, and that's how they put FTX down. So she was spotted in New York City. This is the picture of her. So somebody took that picture of her on December 4th. So I didn't say anything because a lot of people were saying they didn't know if it was definitely current, if it was really her, but there were rumors that she had fled to Dubai, which is, I guess, where people go when they're worried about extradition to the United States. So people like to, Dubai is like a haven for tax evaders, money launderers, crypto scammers. So that's where people said that they thought Carolyn had gone, but apparently she was in New York this month and may have been talking to authorities. So basically she's maybe, if this is all accurate, cooperating with authorities against Sam Bankman-Fried. So so be careful who you choose to hang out with, especially if you're going to be a criminal. You have to make sure you're working with other criminals who don't talk. Just some advice for next time. But Sam Bankman-Fried, he didn't think of himself as a criminal. He still thinks he didn't do anything wrong. There's some pictures coming out of the jail that he's in. And he had said that he shouldn't go to jail because he has depression, and ADD. So he needs medication. So, and he got some Adderall while he was in the courtroom. So I'll show you some pictures the Daily Mail published today of this prison he's staying in, which is apparently really bad. So that's what they're saying. They're saying the place that he's stuck until at least February 8th is really nasty. So this is the article from the Daily Mail. It says it's not fit for humanity. Sam Bankman-Fried's Bahamas jail is infested with rats and maggots, and inmates at high risk of TB get bed sores from lying on the ground, while kids are detained with adult prisoners. So this says it's the country's only prison. It's called the Fox Hill Detention Facility. It's infested with rodents and maggots. Sexual assaults are prevalent, and drugs are easy to come by. One prison officer said in 2019 that violence is so prevalent at Fox Hill that inmates refuse to leave their cells to shower. So I'll show you some pictures. Let's see. Here's some pictures of it. It does look bad. I do feel bad for him still, because I feel like, he's not going to go hurt anybody, but in a way he deserves it, right? Because there's people whose lives he ruined, and he doesn't really care. But he could go to jail for 115 years. 115 years for stealing. Now they're saying about $2 billion. So there's a picture of the jail. Here's video of it. Oh, I could show you video. Let's see. Hopefully my audio is working okay. I can show this video. That's going to be an ad, I think, first. But
maybe you don't know about the Pulse Massage Patch, which is the best item I bought in 2022.
Yeah, the ads are bad, huh? Here we go. Here, okay. Play.
Current condition of the cells now, and then we will walk around and show you all the ones that is now renovated. It's like night and day. And some of you hold your breath because it's, it can become unbearable.
That's it. It said it was 1 minute and 48 seconds long. Let's see. They said to hold your breath because it could be unbearable. Oops. Wow. Looks crowded. Looks pretty crowded. So anyway, that's a little look inside. That's a look inside the jail. They say that prisoners, a 2021 Amnesty International study found that prisoners in Fox Hill did not have access to bathrooms and were forced to slop out. And when it says slop out, I assume that means poop in a bucket, but I'm not sure. It's a nice way to put it. Slop out. U.S. State Department study on the prison found that it was infested with rats and maggots. While due to low staff numbers, the inmates were only allowed out of their cells for 30 minutes a week. 30 minutes a week. The officer went on to say inmates rarely leave their cells to shower because violence is so prevalent. And then there's the perp walk of Sam Bankman-Fried. How do you guys feel? Do you feel bad for him? Does he deserve? I don't know if anybody really deserves to be housed in conditions like that, regardless of what they did. People should be held humanely. So I don't agree with inhumane conditions for Sam Bankman-Fried, but he probably does deserve to be incarcerated for what he did. A lot of people said nothing was going to happen to him. Did you guys think that? That's what a lot of people said, that nothing was going to happen. But he's stuck in that nasty jail, and he's maybe going to jail for 115 years if he gets convicted on everything. That's pretty bad. The jail in the U.S., the federal jail that you go to if you're somebody like Bernie Madoff or Sam Bankman-Fried, is probably not that bad. It's probably pretty decent. But in the meantime, he's in these like third world conditions. I guess that's what you get. There's the upside to living in the Bahamas is that you don't have to pay taxes and you can be a money launderer. But the downside is when you get caught by the U.S. authorities, you wind up in a crappy jail with a bunch of people who probably want to kill you. So that's no good. Let me show you. All right. That's the update on Sam Bankman-Fried. And then somebody gave me a coffee and asked me about crypto. I sold half my crypto because somebody said Shane T bought 3 coffees and said, what are your thoughts on buying, holding Bitcoin at the moment? And so I sold half because I think it's going to crash because of Tether. So that's what I think. So I started to get worried when some of the more recent news reports came out about Tether. And I know Tether is not good. So it's really just a matter of time. Is you could be in it and it could go up a long time before Tether fails. But eventually Tether is going to fail. So that's the thing about holding crypto to me right now is, yeah, you can have it. And yeah, it could go up as long as Tether holds up. But eventually Tether's not okay. And when that problem becomes a real problem, then crypto is really going to crash. So could be, though, that it goes up first to 200K or something and then crashes to 100K. But one way or the other, it is going to crash at some point. Tether has to work itself out. We have to work out a system that's more reliable, probably. Might involve regulations. So, all right. I was told you I would tell you about the YouTube guidelines. This is the vaccine misinformation policy. So we'll see how we can stay on the right side of it. They say that it actually, when I saw it, I said, oh my God. YouTube doesn't allow content that poses a serious risk of egregious harm by spreading medical misinformation about currently administered vaccines that are approved and confirmed as to be safe and effective by local health authorities and by the World Health Organization. So what if I lived in Florida now, where the local health authorities in Florida are saying something slightly different than that? So that's one of the things I'm reporting on. As a matter of fact, the Surgeon General in Florida says some things that he might not be allowed to say even on YouTube, according to these guidelines. So just think about these guidelines. It says this is limited to content that contradicts local health authorities or WHO's guidance on vaccine safety, efficacy, and ingredients. It says what this means to you. So here's the deal. It says don't post content on YouTube if it includes harmful misinformation about currently approved or administered vaccines on any of the following: vaccine safety, content alleging that vaccines cause chronic side effects outside of rare side effects that are recognized by health authorities. So that's one of the things you can't do is say. So I'm just curious, because of these rules, let's say, because I was looking at some data today, let's say data came out that said there were other side effects. You actually couldn't say it. I mean, that's the way I read it. If data came out that contradicted local health authorities or the WHO, it's automatically misinformation, even if it's real data. And then it says regarding the efficacy of the vaccines, content claiming that vaccines do not reduce transmission or contraction of disease. So, which once again, I think they're kind of talking about transmission in Florida a little bit too. So, and then you can't say anything misrepresenting the substances contained in the vaccines. So you can't say there are nanobots or fetal tissue if there isn't. Then here are some examples. Like, for example, you can't claim that vaccines are part of a depopulation agenda, which is interesting because that's what that movie Died Suddenly actually claimed. So they actually claimed something in that movie, which is specifically an example of content that's not allowed on YouTube. So you definitely couldn't say that. And then look at this. And then it says claims that the flu vaccine causes chronic side effects such as infertility. And then this one claims that the HPV vaccine causes chronic side effects such as paralysis, it says. So that's so weird to me. So claims that the HPV vaccine causes chronic side effects such as paralysis. I did a YouTube search because I'd seen a video. There's a video on YouTube right now from The Guardian, I believe, which shows someone who was paralyzed. It shows that. I'm saying it's not a side effect and stuff, but there's a video available on YouTube, and I won't show it to you because they'll say it's misinformation or something. It's really weird though. If you do a YouTube search for Gardasil and paralysis and stuff, like results come up, and people did talk about Gardasil even on the mainstream news. And but the videos are pretty old. So it's like they got grandfathered in or something. And again, obviously, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying those videos exist right now, which I don't know. I mean, it literally shows someone whose mother claims she was, paralyzed as a result of the thing. And it's on YouTube right now. So it's interesting to me that that's specifically against the guidelines when there's an example that's specifically there right now. Not to say that it should be, not to say the video needs to be taken down or anything. Just saying it's interesting they mentioned that specific thing. And it says educational, scientific, artistic, or testimonial content. And this is where I'm trying to work on a loophole in the last video I made, which again, I might end up deleting. But it says YouTube may allow content that violates the misinformation policies if that content includes additional context in the video, audio, title, or description. Additional context. Additional context may include countervailing views from local health authorities or medical experts. We also make exceptions if the purpose of the content is to condemn, dispute, or satirize misinformation that violates our policies. So we may also make exceptions for content showing an open public forum, like a protest or public hearing, provided the content does not aim to promote misinformation that violates our policies. While they did ban several videos of testimony in front of Congress. So, I mean, what's going to happen when these Fauci files come out? I'll show you what Elon Musk said about it. Let's see. He said this. And I wonder how much influence the government has on information that's on YouTube, about how much it's going to be really interesting to find out how much the government was involved in censorship in regards to COVID content. Here's the tweet from Elon Musk previewing what we're going to see with the Fauci files, supposedly. So here it is. The Hodge twins said, "Let me guess, you found messages between Twitter execs and our government pushing for censorship of anyone that didn't go along with their narrative on COVID." And Elon Musk gave a trophy to Hodge twins. He tweeted that today, that trophy at 3:03 a.m. Man, I wonder, he must never sleep. What's up with people like that? So he's tweeted this out, suggesting that there is going to be information coming out that shows the government asking for people to be censored, which would, I believe, be a First Amendment violation. So far, with the Twitter files, we haven't seen a First Amendment violation because we haven't seen the government specifically asking for censorship of anything that wasn't supposed to be censored. I don't think we've seen that yet. We saw mostly people at Twitter saying, to ban Trump. And we saw some external people asking Twitter to censor things like the DNC. But so far, we haven't seen the government actually do it. And that's where we're most likely to see it is in regards to COVID. So I'm intensely curious how much the government interfered with social media because of the COVID stuff. So, but like I said in the title to this episode, this might be misinformation. Like everything I'm saying might be misinformation. Even though let me give context in case I haven't. Context being that local health authorities say the vaccine is safe and effective. Local health authorities,
Florida,
except for Florida,
the law to mislead and to misrepresent, particularly when you're talking about the efficacy of a drug. We see just recently, Florida got $3.2 billion through legal action against those responsible for the opioid crisis. And so it's not like this is something that's unprecedented. So today, I'm announcing a petition with the Supreme Court of Florida to impanel a statewide grand jury to investigate any and all wrongdoing in Florida with respect to COVID-19 vaccines. And we anticipate that we will get the approval for that. That will be something that will be impaneled, most likely in the Tampa Bay area, and that will come with legal processes that will be able to get more information and to bring legal accountability for those who committed misconduct. Florida, it is against the law to mislead and to misrepresent.
So that's an announcement from Ron DeSantis, which it's an announcement from a government official. I already told you the context of what the WHO says and local health authorities and stuff. I'll show you the press release. So like I said, I think as long as I give you context, then it's okay. And so I might give you context more than you're asking for. But you saw the rules. So this is the press release from Governor DeSantis's office, which says Governor Ron DeSantis petitions Florida Supreme Court for a statewide grand jury on COVID-19 vaccines and announces the creation of the Public Health Integrity Committee. Says today, Governor Ron DeSantis held a roundtable discussion joined by Surgeon General Dr. Joseph Ladapo and world-renowned physicians, researchers, and public health experts to discuss adverse events of the mRNA COVID-19 vaccines and announce new aggressive actions to hold the federal government and big pharma accountable, including establishing the Public Health Integrity Committee. I'll show you who's on that committee. The committee will be overseen by the Surgeon General to assess federal public health recommendations and guidance to ensure that Florida's public health policies are tailored for Florida's communities and priorities. Filing a petition for a statewide grand jury to investigate crimes and wrongdoing committed against Floridians related to the COVID-19 vaccines. Leading further surveillance into sudden deaths of individuals that received the COVID-19 vaccine in Florida based on autopsy results. The state will collaborate with the University of Florida to compare research with studies done in other countries. So they're actually going to look into sudden deaths of people who were vaccinated, apparently, and they're going to investigate some kind of crimes, right? And for context, they said that there were Why? I don't know. For context, you already know vaccines are safe and effective and stuff. So then they get into some other stuff that I'm not going to bother. I'll show you who's on the committee, though. That's interesting. Jay Bhattacharya is on the committee, who's the Stanford doctor who I believe was involved in the Barrington Declaration, although I'm not sure. He was pushing a lot of the same policies. Brett Weinstein is on there too. So definitely a few skeptics on that council. And I don't know the rest of the doctors, but I have a feeling others are skeptics too. So, and then they're putting together a grand jury. They're doing this autopsy surveillance. So yeah, I'm not gonna get into the rest, because I mean, basically, if I read it to you, I mean, the stuff contained within it contains things I can't say, I think. So I'll think about it and think about YouTube's policies and stuff, but just realize this is on the Florida website. So, and because of YouTube's policies, I don't know if I can tell you about it. That's how ridiculous it is. Because of their policies, I don't even know if I can tell you about it. So that's news though, huh? All right. That's news. I'll play a clip of Barack Obama. That's all I can tell you about the medical stuff. So once again, CDC, WHO, and local health authorities say the vaccines are safe and effective. Anything else you hear otherwise, just remember the important thing, which is that there's absolutely no good reason not to take the vaccine or to get a blood transfusion. But unvaccinated blood, I will tell you, I'm hearing a rumor, is becoming more valuable still. So I'll tell you more about it some other time. But unvaccinated blood went up again today in value. I have another story. Okay, this is Barack Obama, kind of sounding what people say, sounding a little like Elon Musk. So I'll play Barack.
This idea of purity, and you're never compromised, and you're always politically woke and all that stuff. You should get over that quickly. The world is messy. There are ambiguities. People who do really good stuff have flaws. People who you are fighting may love their kids and share certain things with you. And I think that one danger I see among young people, particularly on college campuses, Malia and I talk about this. Yara goes to school with my daughter. But I do get a sense sometimes now among certain young people, and this is accelerated by social media, there is this sense sometimes of the way of me making change is to be as judgmental as possible about other people. And that's enough. Like if I tweet or hashtag about how you didn't do something right or used the wrong verb, or then I can sit back and feel pretty good about myself because, man, you see how woke I was? I called you out. Let me get on TV, watch my show, watch Grownish. That's not activism. That's not bringing about change. If all you're doing is casting stones, you're probably not going to get that far. That's easy to do.
There you go, Barack Obama saying that if all you're doing is being woke, throwing stones at people, that's not a good place to be. Yes, I see a reminder in the chat to smash the like button. So make sure to do that. We'll get this video trending for, everybody's tuned in to hear the misinformation. But yeah, go ahead and hit the like button. That's cool. I have a clip of I have a clip of Nick Fuentes talking about a subject you're not supposed to talk about. But I think if I play it and I say he's wrong, which actually I do actually disagree with him, I think it's okay to play it just for the context. So I am, yeah. Well, hold on, let me think about it. Yeah, I'll play it. It's just for the context. This is Nick Fuentes, who went on the Alex Jones show and said some inflammatory stuff. I mean, basically talked about Jays the whole time. And he's got a specific thing about Jays. So let me play this clip because it's a look into the mind of Nick Fuentes. So, and who Alex Jones wanted to have on his show to debate with him about Nick Fuentes's views about Jays, and Alex Jones wanted to express his views about Jays, which are different than Nick Fuentes's views, but he felt like it was a good idea to have Nick Fuentes on because people tune in for it. So I'll play a clip from that, but it is what you are going to hear is anti-Semitic. I'll say that because I think I can play it then, as long as I tell you that I'm playing it in order to criticize it.
Jews, I mean, one of the biggest groups of Hasidic Jews doesn't think Israel should exist, so I think it's more complex, Nick, than what you're saying.
I agree with you that there are Jewish factions, but the one thing that they're all on the same page about is that they're all on Team Jew, and they all spit on Christians. And this is a well-known thing. You go to Israel, and they literally spit on Christians. And it's so tragic that there are so many Christian Zionists or Christian Philo-Semites.
Okay, I'm not even going to play the whole thing. I realized I don't want to press my luck. But anyway, he said that I disagree that all Jews are, that I think it's incorrect. So I don't think Jews are spitting on Christians in Israel that I hear about, really. And I mean, maybe it's happened, but I'm just saying it's not like a normal thing. And not all Jews are the same. I don't think they're all on Team Jew, like he said. He says all Jews are on Team Jew. I don't think they are all on Team Jew. Some Jews are not on Team Jew. Some Jews are don't even like Jews specifically. So like some Jews, you could call them anti-Semitic. It's possible. So, so I just played that to show that he was on the show, and he said a bunch of stuff about, the group you're not supposed to say things like that about. And Alex Jones entertained him for like 3 hours. Now I'll play you another controversial clip. These controversial clips of Kanye sometimes can be interesting because he says stuff. This thing about Rosa Parks. People called him out. He was on Clubhouse, and the Clubhouse got banned because he said a bunch of stuff about Jays. And here's what he said, though, about Rosa Parks, that she was a plant. I'll play that, and then we'll look into that. Let's see.
It ain't like 14 people ain't getting killed every week in Chicago, Atlanta, like all over. But no, we're going to publicize this on our, I'm not going to say whose platform it is. I'm not going to say what hospital it is. It was the Jews. But it's not. I got to stop pointing out the Jews because it's really communist rule and taking out that information. It just looks to me, I just put that as a proposal. Everybody knows Obama not from Chicago. He's only in the Senate like a half a term. They know they plan that all the way, you know what I'm saying? Since 1948. All of these movements, I know woke finna be mad at me, but all of these heroes, man, is only one. That's Jesus Christ. You're gonna find out something about MLK, something about JFK, something about Malcolm, something about all Rosa Parks. We know Rosa Parks is a plant. We know all of these things, right?
Okay, he said something about, he also said something offensive. So I'm playing it to be critical of it. It was offensive to Jewish people. What I played it for was for the clip of him saying that Rosa Parks was a plant. I just looked into it. She was trained, Rosa Parks, at an institute for activists, along with people like Martin Luther King. So that is interesting. I had somebody share that information with me. So if you go to the Wikipedia page for this thing called the Highlander Research and Education Center, this was apparently some kind of, well, apparently it still exists. It's an institute where activists were trained, and Rosa Parks was trained as an activist. It says right here, it trained civil rights leader Rosa Parks prior to her historic role in the Montgomery bus boycott, as well as providing training for many other movement activists, including members of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, Martin Luther King Jr., and John Lewis, Ralph Abernathy, and others. So when he says Rosa Parks was a plant, maybe, I mean, in a way, maybe she kind of was, in the sense that she was an activist, and not just a normal person who didn't want to sit on the right. So it was actually set up as a publicity stunt, most likely, which is fine. It still pointed out a real problem, but it may have been a stunt, which is probably why Ye is saying that she was a plant, which doesn't mean that there wasn't racism or that she should have been forced to sit at the back of the bus or whatever. It's just that I think somebody was saying she had photographers with her and stuff at the time. So fair enough. Interesting when you look into history. That's all. Just interesting. People that lead movements, where they came from. All right. I think that's it. God, I played those controversial videos. But I played them in order to be critical of them. And I think I was critical of them. Them being the clips I played. And this is other news, which I kind of predicted that eventually we'd have deflation because of what the Fed is doing. And I predicted this long ago, near the beginning of the year. I said, forget about inflation. The real problem is that we might go into a depression with deflation, which can be really bad. Deflation can be really bad. So this post from Zero Hedge says, excluding shelter CPI, the U.S. is now in deflation. And shelter is a 9 months lagging indicator to actual market rents data, which means the Fed should be cutting rates now, Zero Hedge says. And they're raising rates, and they're going to keep raising rates until we basically have a depression, probably. So it hasn't happened yet. I mean, everything's still kind of okay so far. But it's still, we haven't seen like a meltdown yet, a financial crisis, and we probably still will at some point. So, and right now, prices are going down. Prices are going down because we're actually in a recession. And then we'll probably eventually go into something even worse. So this thing is trending. Trump is about to make a major announcement tomorrow. So this major announcement is trending on Twitter because our hero, Donald J. Trump, is going to make a major announcement tomorrow. So we'll have to be looking out for that. I'll be looking out for that, and I might report on it live if he does something live, even though his last live event was boring as hell. So if he's making a major announcement, he said that his last speech was a major announcement, which was going to be the most important in the history of the world. And it was super boring, and everybody wanted to leave halfway through. So hopefully, if he has a major announcement for tomorrow, hopefully it's interesting, and maybe I'll cover it live if I know when it's going to happen. But this is what it says: America needs a superhero. I will be making a major announcement tomorrow in all caps. Let's see. And then there's
America needs a superhero.
wow. Wow, that's amazing.
America needs a superhero.
Oh man, that guy's too much, man. He should be tweeting that stuff out. That is too much. That is the funniest announcement ever. I wonder what he's going to announce. Like, I have no idea. Maybe he'll announce that he's running with Carrie Lake. That's the only weird thing he could announce. I don't know. I can't think of anything. Well, if you guys know, drop it in the chat. I'll check my super chats at buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. See if anybody left me any notes. That's one way you can support the show. In addition, people also tip on Rockfin, which looks like it's working. Okay, good. Thanks, Vogan Filter. Appreciate it. Who says, stay up, homie. The base is growing. The base, all your base are belong to us. The base is the place. So yeah, we do have some people tuning in for the show though. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Thanks. Thanks everybody who listens all the different ways. Nobody showed their support though, this show, by buying me any coffees. And just a reminder, you can do that anytime. You can also become a member, and you can also do it after the show is over, even after you listen to the podcast or what have you. But that's it. We're not monetized or anything. So the only way the show gets support is through donations. So if you want to, go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. You can leave coffees and a note, and I will read them on the show. So, all right. That's it, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Good to see you guys. And we'll see you. Oh, tomorrow I should have on. Tomorrow I should have. Hold on a second. Tomorrow I should have on the person I said I was going to have on, who the Google whistleblower, Zach Voorhees. God, I forget names sometimes. It's so bad. Zach Voorhees is supposed to be coming on tomorrow. So that should be at 5 p.m. I'll confirm. And then I'm also following the Twitter files, and also trying to follow Trump's major announcement to see what it might be. So, all right. For now, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you at the next one. That's what it is.